Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now we are in our second topic, which is Malaysian legal system. At the end of the topic, you should be able to describe the development and application of law in the country. When we talk about Malaysian legal system, especially the history, we are looking into the history of West Malaysia as well as history of East Malaysia. Okay, we are looking into all this history just to understand, but I believe all of you have done history before during your SPM, but if you can still recall back, basically you have all the background, but this time you need to look more on the legal part, how the law or the legal part has evolved throughout the whole century, throughout the whole 19th century and above. Okay, now first of all we look into the legal history of West Malaysia, whereby there are three major periods which responsible for shaping the Malaysian current legal system. Okay, the first one is Malaccan Empire, where Malacca was found by the Majapahit Empire, who married the Muslim princess from Pasai. Okay, and then influence of Islam, this was brought by the Hindu. Okay, basically they brought it to Malacca, and the other one is Portuguese and Dutch and the English influence. So these are the three major periods in the legal history. Okay, first and foremost, we are looking into Malaccan Empire. I'm sure all of you remember the history of Malacca, how Malacca was formed, yeah. And then I'm sure you also remember the name Megat Iskandar Shah, yeah? And then at that time, Malacca became a famous port of call for traders from China, India and Arabia, and the apex of administration system was Sultan, and assisted by his four officials. Their officials are actually the chief minister, who is the Bendahara, commander of troops and police, Temenggung, and then harbour of masters and customs. So these are the people who actually assist the Sultan in the maintenance of the law and order. So basically, the administrative of justice, apprehending criminals, maintaining prison, keeping the peace in Malacca, as well as looking into the harbour. So basically, these are the main position or main duty for those who actually during that time. Okay, and then when they have all these duties, all the affairs in that part of the state, so they have to have law. So at that time, the law administered was a combination of Muslim law and Adat Temenggung. So Adat Temenggung is what we call patriarchal Malay customary law, or more from the father side, compared to Adat Perpati, which is matriarchal Malay customary law, which is from the mother's side. So Adat Temenggung was the law of the Sultan, or the law ordained by the rulers and later adopted in the other regions of Peninsular Malaysia. So basically, it was the basis of the law found in Malay Legal Digest compiled between 15th and 19th century. So our history of legal system goes way back between 15th and 19th centuries. And then at that time, Sultan was the absolute ruler and handled all cases of treason. So basically, there were two legal texts of Malacca. So Hukum Kanun Malacca, or Laws of Malacca, and the other one is Undang-Undang Laut Malacca. Okay, so Maritime Laws of Malacca. So basically, there are two main legal texts of Malacca. Okay, I play the game with my students. So the second password is charter. Okay, that was the period of Malacca and Malaccan Empire, and then next we move on to the influence of Islam, whereby partly it was brought by the traders, Hindu traders basically, Muslim traders from India, and actually it was originating also from Malacca because that's where the port is, and then the law as written in the legal digest went through evolutionary process, whereby the legal rules that eventually evolved were shaped by three main influences, namely the early non-indigenous Hindu-Buddhist tradition, Islam, and the indigenous adat. So Hindu-Buddhist political control and cultural influence ended with the expansion of Islam. So before Islam coming in, there was some Hindu and Buddhist political control. But then again, even when Islam expanded, whereby it was brought by Muslim traders, so we still have that Hindu culture in our even among our Malay society. So that one is the other major period, which is the influence of Islam. And the last one is during the Portuguese and Dutch and the English influence. This is the third period, whereby Malacca was taken by Portuguese in 1511, and during the Portuguese period, Malacca was ruled by a governor. So the governor was assisted by council, and there were 7 magistrates appointed. Bear in mind, during when it was taken over by Portuguese, we already have magistrates at that time. So these are the Portuguese influence. However, the Portuguese did not exert their influence beyond Malacca. I don't know why. Perhaps by history, those days it was a very thick forest, so they rather not go beyond for fear of maybe wild animals, or for fear of not accepted by the locals. Okay, and then later on, the Dutch took over Malacca from Portuguese in 1641. And during that time, the Dutch governor was also assisted by council. And then, however, the administration of Portuguese and Dutch were not extensive as well. And then it could be said that Portuguese and Dutch law were made relatively little impact on legal system compared to other countries, such as Indonesia, whereby Dutch laws have quite big impact on them. But for Malaysia, we have the English influence over our legal system. Okay, so when Malacca fell into the hands of Portuguese from 1511 to 1641, and from Dutch from 1641 till 1795. So basically, the local still continue to practice Islamic laws and Malay customs. So despite having Portuguese and Dutch rule the states, so they still allow the local custom to be in operation. Okay. And then next we move on to the British, English influence, or the influence that comes from the British. In 1786, if we look again, 1786, the Britain acquired island of Penang, the first territory in Malaysia, okay, to fall into the British hand. So the main preoccupation of British administrators during the first decades of founding of Penang was the maintenance of some form of order. So when they come in there, they try to inculcate their culture into our own people. So British colonization era can be divided into the following: Straits settlement, Federation Malay States, Unfederated Malay States, and Federation of Malaya. Okay, we start off with first with Straits of settlement, whereby probably most of you have learned this, and you know this the states are considered as negeri-negeri Selat. So they are Malacca, Penang, and Singapore. But if you read some books, they said that there are actually 4. Another one is Labuan. So just I use the Malacca, Penang, and Singapore. Perhaps Labuan not so significant in the history part. Okay. So through the treaty with the Sultan of Kedah in 1786, Penang was taken by Francis Light for the East India Company. Okay, and then Singapore was obtained by Stamford Raffles from Sultan of Johor through the Treaty of 1819, and Malacca was obtained by the British from the Dutch India Company via Anglo-Dutch Treaty of 1824. Okay, so this is what happened during those time, how these states was taken over by the British. And then the three settlements were amalgamated and called the Straits settlement in 1826. Okay, so by history, Straits settlement start off in 1826. And then when Francis Light, when he inhabited Penang, okay, when he took over Penang, he reported that Penang was uninhabited when he landed. There were only one Malay kampung and another small kampung. So he said that not many people in the island. That was what he claimed at that particular time. However, he still maintained the local custom. So the main preoccupation of the British administrator during the first decades after the founding was the maintenance of some form of order. Okay. Even if the British continue to maintain Penang, but they allow the local customs and the law to be continued, and then they also consider using English law when they consider as just and expedient. However, there were complaints and petition asking for a better system of justice. So that's when the first charter, which is Royal Charter of Justice, came in 1807. Okay, this is prior to actually to the Straits settlement. So Royal Charter of Justice came Penang. It was actually granted by King George III in Penang. This is where it was more of for the beginning of the introduction of the English law into the country. Okay, as you can see, 1807 is prior to the Straits settlement. And then the charter established the Court of Judicature of the Prince of Wales Island. At that time, Penang was known as Prince of Wales Island, and it was actually meant to exercise jurisdiction of civil, criminal, and ecclesiastical, which is relating to Christianity matters. And then it was interpreted by the courts as introducing to Penang the law of England at that time in 1807 to suit as long as it's suitable to local condition and circumstances.